is a popular one. What's the cure time for Hyperion?
In between coats, the cure time for Hyperion is 2 hours. And when you are sending it to your customer, we suggest waiting 3 days before you pop it in the mail to send to your customer. What do I do if I've left my cup sitting for longer than 10 days? Can I still work on it? Will it hurt it if I do? How do I go about finishing my tumbler that I've made?
You can absolutely keep working on it. I would suggest using a cleaner to swipe down any dust or anything that might be sitting on it, but absolutely you can continue it.
I would give it a little scuff first, like a level sand, and
Good
then
idea.
continue on using it so that just there's something to adhere to if for any reason.
Absolutely.
So it has a rougher surface.
That's a good idea. Just make sure you clean it off even after you scuff it.
Yeah.
Safe to use indoors?
Absolutely. It's water-based product, so you can absolutely use it indoors. You can use it around pets, kids, no problem at all.
Can it be used in molds?
No. Because it's not a deep pore resin, so it doesn't, you need to be able to put on thin layers and they need to adhere to each other. It's not like epoxy where it will cure in one big lump.
Yeah. Right.
Do I still need to prep my cups? Absolutely you do. Prep is key. And if you do not have the proper prep, your cup will not turn out the way that you want it to.
Well, it might turn out, but it won't last.
That's right. And there are lots of different ways to prep it too.
That's a separate video.
Yes.
Yeah, we will have a future video on prepping your tumbler.
Yeah.
But some of the ways that we do prep them is with Easy Strip. There's
Power wash
and what are those things called right now? A steel wool pad, power wash, and sandpaper.
Yep.
I also use rubbing alcohol with mine too.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No matter what the prep is, you have to make sure it passes the water test. And we have videos on the water test as well. Basically, you're running it underneath water, under running water, and there's no beading on the cup. So if you know that the water is sheeting off your tumbler, then you've done a good prep job.
And that's just to get the factory coating off that tumblers come with. That is the reason for the prep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I use spray paint? And how long do I need to wait before I go on with Hyperion after the spray paint?
You can absolutely use spray paint. And the good thing about Hyperion is with spray paint, you don't have to wait 48 hours for it to gas off. You only have to wait 2 hours for it to gas off, and you're good to go.
Can I use Hyperion as a base coat on my tumbler, or do I need something else as the base?
Hyperion can be used as the base. As long as your tumbler is prepped properly, Hyperion, the Helios, and the Aurora can all be used as base paints or base coats.
You can add the primer paint and the Aurora 3-in-1 paints to the Hyperion too.
Yep.
Yes.
It'll be a little bit more of a...
It's a little more runnier consistency when you use them. I've used them to make the swirl effect so that the paints are runnier, and then as it spins and self-levels, they kind of spin a little bit more like you would if you dropped it into epoxy.
How many coats do I need before I can sand and in between sands? So it is suggested that we have at least 3 coats of Hyperion down before we do start sanding. Typically with mine, I do 3 or 4 coats and then a sand.
Yeah. I usually do 4 coats.
I'm 3.
Depends on how thick you put them and what you're doing, but definitely minimum 3 coats.
Can I use a heat gun with Hyperion?
No.
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 Hyperion dries very quickly. It's water-based, so it dries quickly. So if you use a heat gun, you could potentially end up with like little beads of particles, like as your Hyperion dries, it'll get gritty. So no heat gun at all. You don't need it,
Mhm.
and not recommended to use.
Is it dishwasher safe?
It is not recommended to be dishwasher safe, although tests have been done where it has been put through a dishwasher after the full cure of 10 days. It's come out cloudy, and then once left to dry, it's dried clear, but we still don't want to tell our customers or recommend to our customers that it's okay to soak it, put it in a dishwasher, or
Right.
microwave, anything. We still need to follow all those same rules that you apply to epoxy too.
100%.
Do you get a glass-like finish like epoxy?
You sure do. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I used another water-based product, and no matter how many coats I put on, I could never satisfy myself that it had that nice glossy finish. It always made me sad. And when I started using Hyperion, I'm not kidding you, the gloss shine on it, to me, it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Can Hyperion be used on acrylic blanks?
Yes, I do it all the time.
Absolutely.
You can even get the domed look on acrylic blanks that you do with epoxy.
You can. Excellent.
Does it have to be watered down? Do you have to like alter anything, or you just put it right on as is?
I just put it right on as is.
Like drop it on or brush it on?
I put it in the middle of the blank. So I put a fair amount in the middle of the blank, and then I use a silicone brush to pull it out to the edges, and then just not quite all the way to the edge, so it gives you that domed.
Oh, very good.
How do we apply Hyperion? Do we use a brush? Do we use our finger? Do we put it on our turners, or do we have to hang it?
Oh boy, that's a lot of questions, a lot of answers.
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above, yeah. Some people prefer brush,
Whatever
some people
you.
don't like brush, some people use fingers. You definitely don't have to put it on a turner. If you do put it on a turner, you only let it have to sit or spin for an hour. You can definitely do the hang dry. With hang dry, you'll definitely know if you're applying too much, because as it dries and your Hyperion runs down, it will form little poolings around the rim, and then that's a good way to know if you're putting too much on. But yeah, all of the above.
Personal preference. I think you just need to trial and error, like everything else.
Yes. Yeah. 100%. Everybody is different. There is no right or wrong way.
Yeah.